What's up, guys? Mitch from RespectMerchant.com here with another episode of the Morning Joints. The usual host, Joey J. Ping, is unavailable today on the road, all around, poor service. So I'm filling in today as the host to fill you guys in on some new cannabis and music industry news. We're a little bit later as well. Different change this morning, a little bit later as well. We usually do these around 8:30, 9 a.m. On that dad life this morning, starting a little bit later. But anyways, we got some cannabis and music news topics to go over this morning. The first one starting out is the Green Street Festival recap. While the Green Street Festival did happen a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago, our recap is now live on the site at respectmerchant.com. We go over day one and day two. Day one was a more private, intimate evening. Gary V and Harry Mack were in the building. Day two was the festival with Juicy J and DJs and a bunch of stuff going on downtown Los Angeles. I know quite a bit of people were out there. Emerald Cup was going on the same day, later in the evening. So we got a good recap. We did a little walkthrough video of the Green Street Festival and an article that is on the site, respectregion.com. You can read the full recap there to learn about the first ever Green Street Festival and what they did in downtown LA. Next up, to keep it moving with Cannabis Events, while we just recapped, another event is coming up here in Washington State where I reside. Interchange. Interchange is something put on by Marijuana Venture. It's been going on since 2000. I think I first went in 2016, 2017, but I believe it's been going on prior to that. Marijuana Business Venture is a magazine led by a team, and Greg James is at the helm over there. Interchange is his brainchild of an event. It's speed dating. I know a lot of events, I've talked about this in the past. There's quite a bit of cannabis B2B events that have this speed dating type element. And I'm not saying that Greg and Interchange invented that type of element, but they were the first cannabis B2B event that did that. Again, I remember seeing their style in 2016, 2017. Last couple of years, I've seen people adopt it and be like, we're doing the first ever. And it's like, nah, man, I've already been to those events for almost a decade at this point. So Interchange is in Washington. They also have an Oregon edition. The Washington one, I believe, is next week, June 15th and 16th in Renton at the Pavilion Center. I go to that one. It's in my backyard. Free parking, great event, super focused. And how they have it set up is retailers have these individual, not quite booths, almost like meeting rooms, sectioned off meeting rooms. And then they come out and ring a bell, and brand reps, sales reps get to have guaranteed sit downs with buyers of, I don't know, it's like 8 to 12 retail stores over the course of 2 days. And then there's a mixer and they serve lunch and everything. It's a great event. Any company out there, I mean, if you're in Washington, this is only for the Washington market, but if you're an ancillary company that has the Washington market in your sites, this is like the event I would personally recommend, even away from this live stream, if we're just talking real life. And aside from my relationship with the people that throw this event, they do not pay me for this. They do not pay me to be there. I just really like the event. It's valuable for me to be at. And I think anyone that wants to enter into the Washington market and meet with retailers or brands is one of the only, and I think it's one of the best, regardless of other events going on in Washington. Portland, Oregon is coming up September 21st and 22nd. And then they all are going to Michigan for the first time, October 19th and 20th. Greg is old school business guy, real smart dude. He curates these events with just value, really looks at, one of those people that really looks at how can I build an event that it brings value and impact to those that are a part of it. So while this, the one in Lansing is going to be their first Michigan event, I have an inclination that it'll definitely be valuable for people to be a part of. So check that out. Again, that is on the site right now, or you can go to, I believe it's mvinterchange.com. I'm going to double check that. It's on the Respect My Region website, where I'm not going to look up the URL. Apologies for that. And so just to keep people in mind, I just went over 2 different events, a recap and an upcoming one. We also have an article on the site, our global cannabis industry trade shows, conferences, and expos to attend before the year's end. And so we have quite a bit on there. Canatech Expos coming to Illinois and New Jersey. Lucky Leaf Expo still coming to OKC and Richmond. International Cannabis Business Conference is coming to Switzerland and Germany. Ooh, I might have to try and get out to Switzerland for that. Nikon Nican is coming to Chicago, Vermont, New York, New Jersey, Maine, Canicon, Michigan, Illinois, Colorado, Virginia. Benzinga is coming to Chi-Town. Grow Up Cannabis Conference, BC. I might have to check. I gotta put some of these on my personal calendar. Cannabis Conference coming to Vegas. International Conference on Medical Cannabis. MJ BizCon, Can Pharma, Hall of Flowers, and then also MJ Unpacked is coming back to Las Vegas. Moving on in cannabis news, Lil Kim launches Aphrodisiac cannabis brand with Superbad Inc. It is going to be launching this spring. I know Lil Kim has been working with Superbad over the last year and some other friends of ours to just identify the strains that she wants to put in packages. Last year, she was on Cannabis Talk 101 and talking to them about this upcoming brand. Superbad Inc. is headed up by Carlos Do, and he's out there doing his thing, man, putting together some plays for these brands. So, that's celebrity brands in cannabis, can be hit and miss. There's a lot of people that have opinions one way or the other about them. But Lil Kim is partnered with some great people in this space, and she's an icon, man. Lil Kim is literally an icon. People throw that term around and are too early to claim it for some people, but Lil Kim is for sure an icon. On to the next set of news. New York spells out marketing and packaging rules for legal cannabis sellers. This one was a little tricky, like most things. When they put out rules, it's hard to interpret it. There's a lot of vague. There's a lot of things it's like, does that apply to this or not? And as it rolls out, we'll see certain things loosen, certain things be more defined. I'm sure of it. One of the unique things that we saw is the rules are going to allow TV ads, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure how far other states are against that or not. I know through like Connected and some of these TV services, you can run ads on Hulu and stuff like that. So there is advertising on TV in certain areas. I'm not sure if this is like local TV, it's super allowed there and it's not in others. I'm a little inconsistent with that law, those rules, honestly, state to state, because I know you can kind of do it. One of the things that it is not going to allow is the targeting of minors with cartoon characters, celebrities, or toy images. I think that's pretty consistent, but some people make the case for like, Cookies coloring the color of their bags and their bubble font and the fact that they're a clothing line. Some people try to say that could be appealing to kids, but then it's not. And you look at some of these brands and product names, it's built off of fruit. It gets confusing, like what is actually targeting minors and what's not. I was just in the alcohol aisle the other day with my 3-year-old son, and he's like, Daddy, this one's got a zombie on it. Cool. This one's got skull and crossbones, which are definitely not targeting minors. But my son was just like amazed and looking at all these beer cans and the artwork on them. And he's just asking me, why does this one have this? And I'm like, I guess they want a 3-year-old to think it's tight. I know that's not what they want. So when we talk about, marketing to kids or targeting kids, it's really, I don't know. For me, that's a very vague gray area. Obviously, you can't do cartoons, but certain things are kind of cartoonish. So I don't really know what that's going to mean. But a unique thing also is they're not going to allow like stoner terms like the word stoner, chronic, weed, or pot, which is just really weird. I mean, it says promoting products. So is that similar to some of these states where like on Google My Business, you couldn't do weed dispensary because you can't use the word weed? Do you have to use the word cannabis? I know, Michigan has things with the provisioning centers and the weird stipulations around that. So and then they're gonna have a universal state symbol on there, the THC flower, and a triangle of 21 plus in a red circle atop of the New York State logo. This label confirms that the product is licensed and legitimate, undergoing testing. It's gonna have to keep out of the reach of children and pets. And then it's gonna have to say cannabis may cause impairment, maybe habit forming, and smoking or vaping could be hazardous to your health. So, some of this stuff is cool. Oh, it says all packaging must be green by including recyclable content. So does that mean it needs to be the color green, or it just needs to be green as in it's recyclable? That's how I would take it. But again, some of these things are not defined. And as I remember, the laws rolled out in the state of Washington at one point with marketing and packaging. It was a list this big, and it left a lot of room for interpretation. It's been getting bigger and more clearly defined. I'm sure that will come to New York. But for right now, there's some rules that are spelled out. I have more questions than I honestly have answers personally, and I'm sure other people probably do as well. On the next cannabis news, Mississippi just opened up applications for medical marijuana cards. The first few days went pretty well. There were some hiccups. Most people were just seeking clarification from the state health department regarding what sort of documentation needed to be submitted. Let's see. So, I mean, people are really moving to get the stuff, it going down there in Mississippi. Patients can go ahead and start the application process online with the State Department of Health. Physicians, practitioners, and optometrists. Wow, I'm struggling through the words today. May all participate in the medical cannabis program once they're properly certified. The requirements on how to become certified are becoming a bit more clear. And then they're building out facilities. So medical cannabis is really getting underway in Mississippi. It's another state coming on. It's in the Bible Belt down south. So we're seeing some more stuff tilt. We got to work our way to Texas, because once Texas goes wreck, man, I personally believe that the country's really gonna move right there. On to some music news. Splash House hosts 3 festival weekends this summer at multiple Palm Springs resorts. So the first coming up June 10th through 12th, August 12th through 14th, and August 19th through the 21st. The first one coming up here in June 10th through 12th has Diplo. He plays like everything. Channel Tress, Dombrisky, Hayden James, Walker Royce. Excuse me, I might butcher some of these names. This looks like, if I'm guessing, this is probably a lot of EDM, which I don't really listen to EDM. So I don't even really know how to say so many of these DJ names. Chet Porter, that's an easy one to say, but I know the name. So I think, Splash House is going to be that electronic music coming to Palm Springs, three different weekends. So that's going to be definitely something cool coming down there. And let's see, so the multiple weekends events across 3 local hotel resorts and after hours at the Palm Springs Air Museum. Full takeover of each resort for a mecca of dance music and ravers the whole weekend, with poolside stages, rooms, balconies that are all a part of the fun. So they're really coming to Palm Springs. I'm very familiar with, going to Palm Springs for Hall of Flowers. I know Fairchild just took over the Saguaro. It looks like, I would assume these guys are doing something there as well if we're talking about poolside events, and it looks like the Saguaro in the graphic. So that'll be a good time if you're into dance music, EDM, and want to go out to Palm Springs. That August 19th through 21st. That's going to be hot in the desert, man. That's going to be hot. Cafoon goes viral on TikTok for sped up version of Take It, now on tour with churches. Man, they're hitting me with a bunch of EDM stuff. I feel like I'm a hip hop guy. I feel like somebody that's not into hip hop coming in there trying to say names and pick up on the culture. I really feel out of my element. But these guys are going viral on TikTok right now, man. And then this week they appeared on Spotify's Viral 50 with the sped up version charting at number 11. Has amassed over 46 million streams on the platform with 4 million listeners a month. The original version peaked at number 2 last week. Billboard's Bubbling Hot 100. It's risen to number 5 on that. Or sorry, according to Billboard's Bubbling Hot 100, the song has risen to number 5 on that chart, which means they could have their first Hot 100 hit before long. Indeed, this is likely to happen with support of their fans. And of course, it was a viral sensation coming from TikTok. So, man, really, this is a crazy story, because so often in the new landscape we live in of social media, something goes viral or gets a lot of steam on Instagram, but you don't see it translate over to Spotify or whether Spotify or not, out of platform. Many things go viral or mini viral or regionally focused viral inside of a platform, but there's very little push outside of that. Like, for example, I'm wearing, like a Blacklist hoodie. So let's just say like the Blacklist posted a page, somebody, that video got 50, 60,000 plays on the Blacklist page, or even, 300,000 plays, views, whatever, what have you. how many people actually clicked from that post to that person's profile and then took the action of, I want to like and follow this? I mean, it's a numbers game, right? And then how many people, if it was a cannabis company, how many people went to that Instagram page, followed it, liked a couple comments, and then went from that Instagram page maybe to their website and then found the product on a menu and then took action on it. It's a numbers game, right? A lot of people see something, certain people go down the funnel and do the next thing, certain people go down here, certain people, that's just how it works. So it is unique that TikTok, for as far as for music artists, allows things to go super viral within app, but then we see people take action and go to Spotify and stream the song, favorite the artist. It's very unique. Like, I don't think that should be understated. That means there's something more than just, in my opinion, something more than just a simple viral moment when something goes viral and then people take action outside of the platform that something goes viral on. I mean, that's just so much more big and impressive to me. So shout out these guys for going viral on TikTok and getting on the Billboard charts because of it. Next news, 5 must-see acts at the Governor's Ball Festival, New York City 2022. Kid Cudi's performing Friday, June 10th. Man, Cudi, my son is 3, loves Cudi. Obviously one of the biggest artists of this generation. Not just this generation, of the last decade, honestly. Major artist. So he's performing also Friday, June 10th. Channel Tress, Joji, Saturday, June 11th. Ashniko, Saturday, June 11th. K-Tronada, Sunday, June 12th. So those are 5 artists to check out. Governor's Ball of New York is one of New York's most iconic festivals since 2011. It's a way to kick off the summer in early June. When it's not too hot, enjoy the city. It looks like they have a really well-rounded lineup of hip-hop, electronic, and just good, wide variety of music. Our next set of news, sadly to report, Atlanta rapper Trouble was shot and killed at age 35 over the weekend. It's pretty sad if you're a fan or following the story. He was on his last post on social media was like, yeah, I'm getting up out of this event. He had performed earlier that night. There's too many police out here. Like, be safe, move careful. That was the last thing he put out in the world. And then I believe he was, I'm not sure if he was shot and killed in a car. It was a home invasion. I've seen a couple different reports, but it was surely sad. There's been quite a bit of gun violence lately. And then, in the hip hop realm, there's been quite a bit of rappers that have been shot and killed over the last couple years. And it's always a sad thing, man. I'm not sure if they have any leads on it or know too much information, but, it's definitely sad when we see artists lose their life, especially, age of 35, man, and especially to gun violence in this day and age. There's definitely got to be some stuff we do to help make some changes here. The next set of news, moving on to something that's slightly more positive, but there also is a negative twist. Gunna's DS Forever is the highest selling hip hop album of 2022 so far, halfway through the year. But, the negative side of that is Gunna and the YSL crew alongside Young Thug are all sitting in Fulton County Jail waiting trial. I believe next year is when it's supposed to start for the RICO case. So part of, Gunna's album was doing really well and it came out before this. But part of that, there's no such thing as bad press, is getting put in the press for this. I think it's probably helped it. And there's also the sad thing in hip hop music when someone gets a case for selling drugs or shooting someone or some sort of violent thing happens to them, it validifies their career. If I'm on record rapping about being a gangster, living this lifestyle, and then I deal with legal repercussions of living said lifestyle, it gives fans and listeners like, oh, this guy is real. He's really about it. This separates this person as other people. And while I do think there is value in being honest, whether you're talking about music or a product, I think there is value in being authentic, being yourself, and having real be a part of that, and putting things out that are authentic and real and that people connect to that. And why be fake and just for the sake of entertainment and selling records. But there's definitely some lines to be drawn. And if anyone's following the YSL RICO case, it's getting crazy. Prosecutors are playing lyrics from their songs, referencing social media posts on Instagram and linking that to real crimes, asking that, are they bragging about things they really did or what's the connection? There's been a couple rappers, Jay-Z, Meek Mill, who are trying to take the ability to look at rap lyrics and apply them to a case, throw that out the window due to, rap is a creative expression. And one of the things, some people feel one way or the other, but one of the best cases I've seen is, like Tom Cruise is in these movies shooting a ton of people and killing a ton of people. If somehow something was somewhat loosely related to them, we can separate, Tom Cruise's character Ethan from Mission Impossible from who Tom Cruise is as an individual. But in hip hop music, there's this aspect of this rapper, like a Gunna, for example. We're talking about Gunna the rapper, and forgive me, I don't know his real name off the top of my head. But how do we separate this entertainer and this figure and this music they put out representing this brand or this image, and that from who they really are as a real person? It's not fair to just judge people and leverage that in that case. But the RICO case is hitting up. And, I think if there's one thing to learn from that is, and especially applies to music or cannabis, is move smart, move safe, be cautious of what you're putting out there. Don't think you're untouchable. And man, if they get you for a RICO case, they've been working on that for a long time and they got a lot of evidence. So, God willing, with the lawyers and everybody working on that case, but Gunna's album, I think, has moved around 823,000 copies so far. So that RICO case has probably helped sales, but obviously that don't mean nothing if you're sitting in a cell. Anyways, that is, I can't get up. I do have one more announcement on today's Morning Joint. The North American Weed Tour is going to kick off here on 7/10, July 10th. The Respect My Region crew, we're going to be having podcast guests of cannabis professionals all over North America, looking at what legal cannabis looks like in their state, whether that's adult use or medical. We're going to be visiting grows. We're going to be visiting dispensaries. We're going to be buying a literal shit ton of product, doing a ton of reviews. If you guys know Joey, my business partner, he goes ham on the reviews. While I do some, that man does like 100 times more than me. So I'd anticipate starting July 10th through December when we end the tour, I would easily anticipate Joey himself is going to review 300 to 500 cannabis products, and I will put that against anyone in the industry. You're not reviewing as many products as my guy. But if you have a brand out there, want your product reviewed, no matter what state it is, no matter what SKU, whether it's flower, vape, edible, concentrate, wellness, beverage, reach out, tap in. We'd love to check out your product no matter the state you're in. We're going to be traveling, so we'll figure out how we can get that product and review it. Brands that want to get in and sponsor this campaign that we're doing, make sure to tap in. And then people out there that follow us, you're going to be seeing content across all platforms and on the website for the North American Weed Tour. We are running again, start kicking it off 7/10 through December. Looking at cannabis across the country, the best of the best. I'm excited to get back out on the road, check out events, go learn more about this industry, learn what cannabis looks like in all these individual markets. I'm excited, man. So make sure to tap in. That is it for the Morning Joint. Again, Mitch filling in for Joey over here. I hope you guys have a blessed Monday. Make it a good day. We will see you.